Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how Malishka tells Balvinda about Lakshmi's divorce, and Balvinda decided to plan and marry Lakshmi. Then he goes to Lakshmi's house. Let's continue from there. Balvinda comes to Lakshmi and holds her from the back. Lakshmi thinks that it is Rishi, but then she realized that it is not Rishi because of the way Balvinda was touching her, and she pushes him away. Balvinda says surprise, and Lakshmi is shocked to see Balvinda dressed like Rishi. Balvinda tells Lakshmi that he has brought a branded cloth from the mall and he will go out with her. He says he can do anything for Lakshmi, and Lakshmi gets angry. Balvinda tries to touch Lakshmi, but Lakshmi asks Balvinda not to come near her. Balvinda says you are still wild and says you are single now, so you should be flexible. Balvinda says to Lakshmi that you can come to me. You don't have to fear from anyone. Lakshmi asks Balvinda to leave from there, else she would call Rishi. Balvinda says Rishi is with Malishka outside, and he asks Lakshmi to come with him. He says he will go to Jewish chapati and he will do anything for her sake. Lakshmi brings broom and hits Balvinda with it, asking him to leave, and Balvinda goes, and Lakshmi cries sitting on the floor. Malishka and Rishi are sitting in the restaurant. Malishka orders Rishi's favorite dishes and tells him that she remembers his favorite dishes even though he came out with her after so many months. Rishi asks Malishka when they declined to come for their meeting. Malishka says now you don't want to sit with me after doing everything with me, and says I did not blame you. She says why can't you spend some time with me? She says if you don't value me, at least value your work. She says she remembers everything and says I still remember everything that happened that night, and Rishi is shocked. Malishka says to Rishi that if you had done what you did with me that night with some other girl, then she would have filed a rape case against you. She says I did not do that because I think that it was not rape. Rishi gets irritated and says he couldn't wait anymore. Malishka says the client are about to come. Rishi says he cannot stay anymore and he asks Malishka to do the meeting on his behalf. Rishi says he would go. Malishka says I will live with you and says you are important for me and not this work. Malishka thinks that nobody is going to come because there was no meeting, and she thinks that I wanted to spend some time with you and remind you of the night incident so that I can make you feel guilty and make myself as the victim, and that was why I brought you here, and she lives with Rishi. Lakshmi thinks that she should not get affected and she cries. Rano knocks on the door. Lakshmi opens the door. Rano asks if Lakshmi will kick her out from her own house by locking the door. Lakshmi tells Rano that Balvinda had come and she asked him to leave, and that was why she locked the door. Rano says she has done right and she murmurs that she did wrong. Karishma comes to Neelam and tells her that she saw Rishi and Malishka spending quality time together. Neelam gets happy and asks, really? She says, I was telling grandma that everything will be fine. She says, my son is returning to me after that inauspicious girl left. Karishma says that she knows that Lakshmi's black magic has gone with her. Neelam says Lakshmi's heart was black, and she tells Karishma that they should think about Rishi instead and says she will not let Lakshmi win. Lakshmi comes out of the house to get vegetables. The neighbors gossip and ask that why did Lakshmi leave her husband. They ask if Lakshmi have any affair. Lakshmi asks them not to talk. The neighbors ask if Lakshmi's husband have an affair, and Lakshmi gets emotional. Balvinda is there, and he thinks that he will get Lakshmi insulted for the slap that Lakshmi planted on his cheeks. Rishi and Malishka are in the car. Malishka thinks that she has brainwashed Rishi and she forced him to think about her. She thinks that she will not let Lakshmi's thought come in Rishi's mind. She sees Lakshmi and thinks that what if Rishi sees her, then their love might rekindle. Balvinda comes to Lakshmi and Malishka thinks that Lakshmi deserves Balvinda only. Balvinda pretends to care for Lakshmi and he started insulting the ladies, and he tells them that Lakshmi is staying in her auntie's house. He says that the person who will get Lakshmi as a wife will be lucky. The lady says they did not know that Lakshmi is this bad. Balvinda tells them that he loves Lakshmi and he asks Lakshmi to come with him. Balvinda holds Lakshmi's hand and he asks her to come. Lakshmi asks Balvinda to leave her hand. Balvinda says you should marry me and then you should beat me day and night. Then I will bear it silently because I love you. Lakshmi pushes him and asks him to leave her alone, and Rishi sees everything. Rishi is running and he comes there. Malishka is running behind Rishi and she tries to stop him. Balvinda sees Rishi and he tells Lakshmi that he will come back to take her, and Balvinda runs away from there. Rishi comes to Lakshmi and asks if that guy was Balvinda. He holds Lakshmi's hand and asks Lakshmi to come to their house because it is also her house. Lakshmi tells Rishi that his house is no more her house now. Rishi says, I cannot let you be alone. Lakshmi says, nothing would happen to me. She says, Balvinda had come into my aunt's house too, but he couldn't harm me. Rishi says, I am with you. He says we should stay in different rooms at the Obrey's house and says, come with me. And he owed Lakshmi's hand and dragged her to his car. Lakshmi asks Rishi to leave her and says, you have done enough and I don't need your help now. Lakshmi removes her hand from Rishi's hand and she goes away from there. Malishka asks Rishi why is he stopping Lakshmi and says that people would think that you want to patch up with her. Rishi says to Malishka that they both know that Lakshmi is not at fault and she should not suffer for the mistake that they both made. He says that he will make sure that everything will be good with Lakshmi and he entered the car. Malishka thinks that she did right by making Rishi feel guilty of what happened that night and she will continue. Karishma tells Sonal about Malishka and Rishi. Sonal says everything will be sorted once Rishi and Malishka get married. Malishka and Rishi comes home and Rishi angrily goes to his room and Malishka tells Karishma that Lakshmi humiliated Rishi on the road to show that Rishi is bad and that she is good and says that Rishi was praising Lakshmi all day and Karishma is shocked. Malishka says that she is tired because she doesn't know when Rishi will forget Lakshmi. Karishma asks Malishka to relax and says she will talk to Rishi and Karishma goes. So now asks Malishka that did Rishi talk nicely to Lakshmi. Malishka says yes and says until Lakshmi goes away from Rishi's life completely, then Malishka will not come. So now says until the time that Malishka come into Rishi's life, then Lakshmi will not go. Neelam comes to Kiran's house. She says that she doesn't regard Lakshmi as her daughter-in-law and says thankfully, Lakshmi is gone. Kiran thinks that I wish I could tell you that Lakshmi is innocent. Neelam says that Lakshmi is inauspicious and a lot of bad things had happened in their house due to Lakshmi. She says I wanted their divorce to be done and finally they are separated. So now says to Malishka that once Rishi tells everyone about that night, then your work will be done. And she asks Malishka to let them provoke Rishi so that he can tell everyone the truth. Malishka says Rishi will feel bad if we vomit poison against Lakshmi and he will feel guilty and he will tell everyone about that night. So now says now you will marry Rishi due to that Lakshmi and they smile. Neelam tells Kiran that Lakshmi had become Rishi's habit and that is why Rishi is sad. But she, being Rishi's mother, should take care of his happiness. She tells Kiran that she wants to correct her mistake and she wants to get Rishi and Malishka married and Kiran is shocked. Rishi entered his room worried and he says he will not leave Balvinda. Karishma comes there and asks what happened. Rishi says he is worried for Lakshmi. Karishma says Lakshmi has created so many problems. When she doesn't think about you, then why do you think about her? Malishka and Sonal comes there and Malishka asks Rishi that why are you spoiling your mood? She says don't think about such dirty things. Sonal says Lakshmi has trapped Rishi. Malishka says Lakshmi was controlling everyone. Sonal says if Lakshmi had stayed here, then she would have named the Obrey property and everything on her name. Rishi gets angry and shouted that Lakshmi is not bad, but I am bad, and Karishma is shocked. Neelam asks Kiran that why is she not looking happy? Kiran thinks that she is not happy and she thinks that should I tell Neelam that Lakshmi was never bad and she was never inauspicious and it was all done by Malishka. Kiran is about to talk but Neelam gets a call and she goes to attend to the call. Rishi says to Karishma that everyone thinks that Lakshmi is wrong, you and mom. He says mom calls Lakshmi inauspicious and says that Lakshmi is not suitable for me, but the truth is that I am not suitable for Lakshmi. Karishma gets angry and asks that what are you saying and says Lakshmi doesn't deserve you. Neelam asks Kiran why she is not happy. Sonal says Rishi is good to feel sympathy on a beggar too, so they cannot blame Rishi for feeling sympathy on Lakshmi. Rishi says nobody knows Lakshmi than me and says Lakshmi is good and I betrayed her. Malishka is about to go near Rishi, but Sonal stops her and says Rishi will tell Karishma what he has done with you. Rishi says I have hurt Lakshmi and I did wrong with her and he gets emotional. Neelam asks Kiran if she is not happy. Kiran says I am very happy. My daughter's dream is going to be fulfilled and I was pleasantly shocked as you told me. She says we should get them married as soon as possible. Neelam says thank God and says she would convince Rishi for his happiness. Neelam tells Kiran that Rishi's marriage with Lakshmi was a bad dream and thank God that they are out of that bad dream now. Kiran says nothing wrong would happen once Rishi marries Malishka and she gives her consent and Neelam hugs her and leaves. Lakshmi tells Shalu that Balvinda had come here. She says Rishi also came and asked me to come home with him. Shalu says brother-in-law is right. You will be safe with him. Lakshmi says I will not go back. Shalu asks that why don't you want to go? Lakshmi says mommy regard me wrong and she regard me as inauspicious. So the divorce is right. Rano comes there and says did Balvinda come behind you? And says she will do something to handle him. Balvinda touches his hand and tells himself that Lakshmi's smell is coming from his hand. He says, I will become yours and you will be mine. And we would have our marriage and our wedding night. He thinks that he will not let Lakshmi go this time and he will use all means to get her. Karishma says to Rishi that you cannot betray Lakshmi because you are so good. She says, I know that you married Lakshmi due to helplessness. Else you wouldn't have betrayed Malishka and married Lakshmi. She says, you haven't betrayed anyone. She says, I understand. And she asks Rishi to tell her what he is thinking. Rishi says to Karishma that you cannot understand. And even Lakshmi did not understand. So now says Rishi wouldn't have done anything. Else he would have shared whatever he did with Malishka or me. Karishma asks Malishka if Rishi told her what betrayal he did to Lakshmi. Malishka says yes, Rishi has betrayed Lakshmi, and Rishi angrily looks at Malishka. Mukesh comes there and says Neelam is calling you all. Karishma and Rishi goes. So now tells Malishka that the stupid servant came at the wrong time. She says Rishi is feeling guilty for Lakshmi and you. Grandma asks Neelam that what is the good news that she has after Lakshmi has gone, and Neelam says that it is a big good news than Lakshmi's exit. Virendra says to Neelam that Lakshmi's exit was not good news for us. Neelam says whatever and says that the good news is that Kiran and she has decided to get Rishi and Malishka's marriage done at the earliest. Virendra and Grandma are shocked, but Malishka is happy and she thanks Neelam and hugs her. Virendra tells Neelam that she would have discussed this with them before going to Kiran. Neelam says you and Grandma would have refused. She says Malishka was always my choice and she was decided for Rishi right from the beginning. Virendra says Lakshmi has saved Rishi always. Neelam says she doesn't want to argue and she asks them not to argue with her, and Virendra and Grandma goes to their rooms. Ayush tries to talk, but Karishma asks him to keep his mouth closed. Neelam asks Malishka and asks if she is happy. Malishka says she is very happy, but Rishi did not say yes till now. Neelam asks Malishka to begin shopping for her marriage and she should not worry about anything, and Neelam leaves. Malishka tells Sonal that Rishi should be convinced for the marriage with her and not be forced. Ayush thinks that he never thought that this would ever happen. He says Rishi's life will be spoiled if he marries Malishka, and he thinks that how can they get this marriage done with planner and plotter, including conspirator Malishka, and he thinks to do something and says he will never let this marriage happen. Only if Neelam knows that she is happily, intentionally destroying her own son's life. Anyways, I'm so sorry that I couldn't upload any video yesterday. I was quite busy. Even today, I'm still busy, but just managed this one for today. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like, share it as well, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.